All right, you're tuned into Bowks Talking Bouts, and PFL Chicago is very close. April 11th is when that card transpires, and already talked to Sergio Pettis and have the other side of the main event on the program today. A very exciting moment in this individual's career, and great getting to talk to Mitch McKee ahead of this massive fight on Bowks Talking Bouts. How are you doing though, man?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
No, I'm doing well, man. Just curious to get your thoughts on just the, I guess, totality of the situation. Because I mean, Pettis definitely someone who has that, big cachet and pedigree, and I mean, a headlining spot on a massive card. Like, how did this all come to fruition? And just what's the mindset as we're, fairly close to fight time now?
I signed with PFL obviously this fall, and then had a different opponent that they were asking me about, and I said yes to that. But then they came back like a week or two later and said, "Would you want to fight Sergio Pettis instead?" His opponent, whoever I don't know who he was supposed to fight, but so yeah, I pretty much right away said yes, and so I've known about it for about 5 months now, and um, yeah, it's been great. I mean, it's been nice to know about it for 5 months and be able to prepare for it for that long and put together a good fight camp. And I feel good about a week out now. I feel really good.
Yeah, and I guess what are your thoughts on the nature of the matchup? Because it certainly, provides a lot of upward mobility. I mean, you're fighting someone here who I think in a lot of people's assessments thought would be fighting for a PFL championship. And I think a certain variable with Alves not being healed enough for the time to like book the fight kind of was a piece there. But just to serve the idea that if you get your ideal outcome here, I mean, you could find yourself in that position. Like obviously you're squarely focused on the fight itself, but I'm sure it's not lost on you like the upward mobility the fight could kind of present to you and whatnot.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I said yes because of the opportunity. I mean, I'm not going to turn down an opportunity like that. And, obviously I talked to my coaches and we all feel like I'm ready for this type of opportunity. So, yeah, I mean, it definitely get a win here this next weekend. We're looking at, title contention talks. So, very excited about that. And, I'm coming into this like it's my PFL debut. It's, it's high risk, high reward type of scenario, and I'm always going to bet on myself.
And it's interesting because like an article via Cage Side Press that came out around this time last year was talking about how you were looking for like a busy 2025 and like a UFC call up or something that would be representative of something like this. Like how did this PFL dynamic come out or come about rather?
Yeah. So after my what was it, September last year, I got a knockout, and pretty much right away, then we were in talks with PFL and UFC, and UFC kind of wanted me to wait and to do the Dana White Contender Series. So that, and then PFL really just wanted to give me opportunities and build me, and exactly what they've done since then. And yeah, it was just seemed like I wasn't just going to be another fighter on the roster like in the UFC. They really wanted to invest in me, and yeah, I mean, right right after I signed with them, they already gave me this opportunity right away. So they're definitely looking to give me the most opportunities I can. So I think it's a perfect matchup.
No, yeah, for sure. And it's such a, big card and everything like that. Like I feel like there's some very intriguing matchups that bolster the event for sure. And I feel like Chicago is such a great market for the PFL. So some very, yeah, compelling ingredients for sure. And I mean, it being on that ESPN related platform. I mean, just yeah, a lot of cool components to this one for sure.
Yeah, originally when they we were talking about it in the fall, it was maybe going to be Pittsburgh like co-main event or something, and then they switched it to Chicago main event, which that I love that even more because it all my family and friends are from Minnesota, so makes it easier for everyone to come watch and support me. And just talking today about or to my wife's side of the family, they got a 12 passenger van they're renting and bringing a bunch of people, and yeah, I know there's going to be a lot of people cheering me on in the arena. So yeah, I'm really excited for the opportunity, for the matchup, for just to get back in the cage, and yeah, I'm excited for this time next week.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like such a big piece for you, like being a husband and also from what I can tell, a father. Like I saw you had a video on your Instagram a bit ago of your, daughter engaging in gymnastics, so already getting the athletic endeavors in her own right kind of
Yeah.
going there and stuff like that. So yeah, I mean, that seems like such like a driving force with what you're doing in your career. Like I mean, individually very motivated, but it seems like those pieces, add extra fuel to the fire, as it were.
Yeah, I definitely yeah, my daughter was actually born like 3 weeks before one of my before like my sixth fight. And yeah, and then since then we've added a son. He's 2 months old, so it's definitely motivating. In the back of your head, you're doing it for them, and not that that's all you're thinking about, but it always helps you. It just helps you train a little harder. It helps you wake up a little earlier, go to bed a little later. It just all around, just you want to move the world just for those two. So, um, yeah, it definitely just helps with day to day training and just overall just wanting to just motivating me in general just to do the best I possibly can. Because I mean, at the end of the day, you can't always control the outcome, but you can control what you put out, and that's always been my motto: is 100% effort and a great attitude, and then the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah, focusing on what's with your in your immediate control and everything like that, it definitely makes a lot of sense. It just seems like such a cool landscape for combat sports athletes nowadays. Like I guess the way my brain is going, just in the context of what's happening now, like just seeing how many, wrestling titles you have and the accolades in that kind of space. It's cool that that Real American Freestyle is out there too. And it seems like it's giving these opportunities to MMA fighters to like still do MMA, but concurrently do like wrestling matches and stuff like that, like that professional pipeline to something like that. So yeah, very cool to see. It just seems like there's an abundance of opportunity for people out there nowadays.
Yeah, I definitely want to get on a RAF card sometime, maybe this year or whenever. But I did a lot of freestyle growing up. I actually took silver at Junior Worlds in freestyle, and then competed at the Olympic trials in 2021 in freestyle. So I was really big into freestyle before switching over to MMA. So it'd be pretty awesome to. I just knew we didn't really push to try to get on it because I knew I had this matchup coming, and we were just all focused on this. But maybe after this fight, or maybe after a title fight later this year, we'll go do some RAF.
Yeah, that'd be very cool to see for sure. And yeah, just like I said, interesting landscape. And I guess kind of tying it into, someone who also has a, deep wrestling pedigree in their own right, Gable Steveson. I thought it was cool that he made his MMA debut on a card that you were a big part of. I mean, I guess in the spirit of what you're doing here with this Pettis fight, a main event fight, headlining that one there, the no bray knockout and everything. Like I guess like just being part of all that and kind of interwoven into Gable's story, at least in that kind of sense. Like, what are your thoughts on what his ceiling in MMA could be? I mean, a lot of people are touting him as like a future eventual UFC champion, etc. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I mean, I don't doubt it. I mean, I've been wrestling with Gable since we were like in like middle school. So I've been on plenty, like dozens of Team Minnesota teams with them, Team USA teams with them. Um, and yeah, so I've grown up. I mean, our high schools were rivals, so we were rivals during the regular wrestling season, and then we'd be on like the same teams together during the freestyle season. And yeah, just and then obviously we were on the Gophers together. But yeah, just he's just so athletic. He's the most athletic person I've ever seen for his size, and um, just the natural ability that he has. And it doesn't even matter what he's doing. Like we used to play handball to warm up in college, and like he'd be the one hand snagging balls and flipping it behind his back, and like he's just always an athlete no matter what he does. So he really puts his mind to MMA. I have no doubts he can become a world champion.
And I guess what was that shift for you? Like, I guess in doing some backgrounding on you, it seems like Logan Storley played a certain role in suggesting the idea of like coming down to Kill Cliff and even, I guess, in a broader sense, like trying out MMA. Like, was that kind of the entry point? And like, I guess what was like a point for you where you were like, oh, I could really make a big run at this? Was it like a pretty innate, immediate sort of idea?
Yeah, so I've known Logan. He was a 4-time All American for the Gophers. He graduated when I was like a junior in high school from University of Minnesota, but I lived like 30 minutes outside of Minneapolis. So I used to go train with them all the time on campus when I was in high school. So I got to know him a little bit. And then I talked to him periodically throughout when I was in college while he was starting his MMA career. And then, after the Olympic trials in 2021, he just gave me a phone call and kind of was just asking why more D1 wrestlers don't fight. And I was like, well, I would consider fighting. I mean, I've watched it since I was young, but you're just stuck in that, not stuck, but you're just so focused on wrestling that it doesn't cross your mind too often. But I'd always watched it all growing up, and we'd get together when I was in high school during the middle of the wrestling season when there's a winter storm outside and you can't do anything else. We just, after a tournament on a Saturday, our whole wrestling team would get together and watch UFC. And so, yeah, I've always been intrigued by it. And so, yeah, I came down here for like 2 weeks and tried it out, and then moved down here like a couple months later in July of 2021. And yeah, it took a little while to like finally be like, all right, this is what I'm gonna do, because it takes a while to learn just even the basics and everything, because I didn't know anything. I didn't know any boxing. I didn't know any kickboxing. I didn't know any jiu-jitsu. I didn't. So just having to learn all of those in their own right, and then later, putting them all together into MMA it doesn't happen overnight. So once I started getting all that and started getting all the basics down, started putting everything together, then that's when you start being like, all right, I can do this. I can make a run at this.
Yeah, and just what like a timeline and everything, because I mean, just someone like Pettis who has like that, highlight reel of the striking based finishes and stuff like that. I would think that would be like, quite the test within that sort of piece. And I guess also just speaks to the dedication and the fact that you're, on the precipice of fighting someone like that. I guess in kind of breaking that down, like how do you see like the story of this fight playing out as just like the last, I guess, like specific question piece that I have? Like, do you have a visualized way this story plays out?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously I'm going to have to use my wrestling quite a bit. And I think, the nice thing about wrestling is it tends to slow guys down, wear guys out. And I think with him, he's fast. He's good. He's good at counters on the feet. So using that wrestling to wear him out. And I've been really working, since I've known this, or since well, for years now, but specifically the last 5 months, been working my top game, jiu-jitsu, ground and pound, submissions. So obviously looking for those along the way, but yeah, just using my grappling to wear on them, and then that's when you can start, faking, using your fakes and your feints to set up your hands on the feet once you've established that you can take them down. So yeah, just we've been really just working on being well-rounded, and no matter where the fight is, giving yourself a chance to win the fight.
No, for sure. And I'm super intrigued to watch this fight. I feel like it's a very compelling matchup. And yeah, I mean, in that context, thank you so much for indulging me with some great insights today. But I'm seeing the time here and I want to be cognizant of your schedule, Mitch. So is there perhaps like a final parting thought you might be inclined to add as we're wrapping up here today?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's going to be a great fight. Obviously, we were both, I'm not going to back down. He's not going to back down. It's just going to be whoever can impose their will and get to the positions that they need to get to. And I think that's going to be me. And I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that's me. And I think fans are going to like the way I fight, because I fight with a lot of pressure. Like I said earlier, my goal is just give a 100% effort and have a great attitude. So that just means I'm going to be moving forward, looking for violence, whether that's on the feet or on the ground. And it definitely will be an exciting fight. It won't be one of those fights where guys are just standing out in front of each other doing nothing. So I'm going to bring the fight to him. And yeah, I'm definitely looking for a finish on April 11th.
No, it's beautiful. I mean, talking to both of you, I get the sense that both of you are looking to end this one inside the distance. And yeah, great skill sets. And both of your track records speak to this being an exciting fight. So certainly stoked for April 11th and this PFL Chicago headliner. And yeah, thank you so much for coming on Bowks Talking Bouts, Mitch. I'll be peeping the card when it goes down. But until then, all the best. And thank you for the time.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.